wish you a blessed Friday. It's good to be together. I'm sure there's lots of things that wear you down, that are kind of a burden. And one of the things that wears me down a lot is negativity. Negativity. Which brings me to the very few words for this morning, said by Shirley MacLaine, of all people, where she says, "Dwelling on the negative simply contributes to its power." That's true. You know, I think the more we, people, dwell on the negative, it gives negativity more power. And I do not like negativity, especially when it comes from me. I think there are times when I have a tendency to look at what's wrong in the world, and there's lots wrong. I maybe look at little things that may be wrong in my life. I maybe think of things that I do that aren't right, or I could do better. And if I dwell on negativity, it gives negativity the kind of power that I don't want it to have. And the other day I had the opportunity to spend some time with somebody who was quite negative. And I'm sure all of you know people that are almost empowered by negativity. I mean, there are some people that like being negative. There are a lot of people who enjoy talking about what's wrong with the world, what's wrong with others, and almost delight in that. And after spending some time with this person who was negative, I was just so grateful that to get out the door. And so I did something fun. I came back to the church and converted the money that was in the love bucket, another check for $1,000 to St. Peter and Paul. And I went over to the Ukrainian church and just sat in the sanctuary. And I went, It just felt good to be alone in a sanctuary, kind of like being alone here once in a while. I looked at the artwork on the wall, looked at the cross, looked at their little pulpit, and then Father Bill walked in, and I talked to him, and it's their Easter this weekend. And man, you thought we had Easter services. Oh man, do they have some services. And we talked about Ukraine. He's nervous and scared. He worries that as time goes on, people are going to forget about what's going on because it's not as covered as it was. And I just told him, I said, you know, Father Bill, that will not happen here in our little church. I mean, we will pray and give and pray and pray and pray because that's what life is about. Then I saw his bulletin for Easter and I saw his message. And as negative as things can be in the Ukraine, and even for some of his people, it was a message of hope. It was a positive message, thanking people like you for supporting them. And I thought, if anybody probably deserves to be negative, if anybody, I don't know, can think of all the stuff that's wrong, it might be somebody like him. And yet through it all, he preaches the power of the resurrection. Because negativity brings us down. And when we focus on the hope, when we focus on those moments when things are right, when I think about the giving spirit inside this sanctuary and in our church, when I was able to go into that sanctuary and talk to him, I realized that negativity does not deserve that kind of power. Because in the middle of all that's going wrong, the pandemic in Ukraine and all the individual things that may be going wrong in your life, we don't want negativity to have the kind of power it can have if that's all we think about. You know, I think about the message of Jesus on the cross. I think about the message of this Sunday, which is Doubting Thomas Sunday, where Thomas doesn't believe that Jesus has risen from the dead. And then when Jesus says, listen, look at my hands, look at my side, it's me. And Thomas believes because of that power of the resurrection that sustains each one of us. There's a couple people I've been thinking about the last few days. One is named Karen, and she's been bedridden for, my gosh, almost 20 years. And I think of Randy, who has MS, and he's been bedridden for years. And one of the reasons I enjoy going to see them is, number one, I get to share the Lord's Supper with them because their bed is the altar. Their bed is where the body and blood of Christ come alive. But one of the reasons I enjoy being with them, I hurt for them. I wish they could stand up and walk tall, and yet in their own way they do stand up and walk tall because they don't feel sorry for themselves. They know that this is what life has given them. They are thankful that they're alive. They're thankful for the goodness and the prayers of people around them. And somehow, in the middle of what's wrong, they're able to celebrate what is right. And I hope that's what we continue to do as a church. Like it says, dwelling on the negative simply contributes to his power. Well, you know, dwelling on what is right, dwelling on God's grace, dwelling on God's unconditional love, empowers that love to make a difference in the lives of each one of us. And I hope we continue to make that difference every day. Hey, thanks for listening. I look forward to seeing you on Sunday, and have a blessed weekend.